Three tomatoes are walking down the street. Papa tomato, mama tomato, and baby tomato.
Plain Ketchup presents.
Starring Lindsay Hinkle and Jamie Nelson.
So this is Plain Ketchup, is it? I prefer something with a little more kick.
Everybody's favorite condiment-themed entertainment podcast.
Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby!
Hot sauce.
Nobody puts ketchup on a hot dog.
Welcome to Hot Sauce on PlainKetchupPodcast.com. I'm Jamie Nelson, and with me is my co-host, Lindsay Hinkle. Hey, Lindsay, how's it going?
Oh, it's pretty fantabulous.
Fantabulous. Are you ready to talk about live performances?
I certainly am. I saw a live performance the other night, actually.
What did you see?
I saw Hanson.
This is my surprised face.
No, it's not. Your surprise face looks a lot like your Lindsay face.
That's my favorite face. So, what do you think made it a successful live performance?
Taylor Hanson.
If you're in a band out there, even if it's or a live performer of any kind, the secret to success is
Taylor Hanson. As you're well aware, I've been to more than my fair share of Hanson concerts in my lifetime. This was the first time I've ever been to a show that was 18 and up. And so I get to the venue, and they're like, "Can I see your ID?" And I look at them, I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, I need to check your ID for the Hanson show." Well, my friend joked, she goes, "So did they kick you out when they saw you were over 16?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so have you been to any live performances lately, Jamie?
Back in, I don't know, March or something, I did go to a concert, and I saw Mr. David Mayfield, which was very exciting, and I'm even more excited to have him in the Skype studio today. Should we let him in?
Well, I mean, like, we can invite him in, but our studio waiting room is so ridiculously plush out there in cyberspace. I don't know if he'd want to leave it.
He's making sad faces through the window of the door, though. I think we should let him in. Welcome!
How that?
That was my doorknob sound.
Sounded like a dying ant.
Suddenly I can see blue skies again. Beauty says nothing less than our hearts will mend. I promise you they do.
How are you, David?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, what state are you in right now?
I am in Nashville, Tennessee right now, in a state of confusion.
State of confusion? Oh, are you a liquid or a solid?
Exactly. I will.
So did you guys feel the earthquake yesterday or no?
I didn't feel any earthquake. I heard all about it.
We felt it quite a bit here in like New York and New Jersey. I mean, I guess I was on the third floor, so it was shaking the chandeliers and stuff. But people outside didn't seem to notice. So musical performances.
That's something I know a lot about.
Yeah, I don't want to give you like some random topic you know nothing about.
Spanish Civil War.
Yeah, we could try. I saw you and Josh Joplin at the 92nd Y.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I've never seen anybody play the guitar by turning the tuning pegs instead of using the fretboard. Where did you learn to do that, or how did it occur to you to do that?
I don't know if I ever learned how to do that. I think it was one of those things where I was doing a show. It was the middle of a show, and I was going kind of spastic on the guitar, as I sometimes do, and I just went for it, and I said, I'm either going to get to a place where I can no longer play this guitar because it's going to be so out of tune, or I'll be able to get back to where I had started. And I think the first time I did it, it was like perfect.
Wow.
Just in the middle of a show. And then I tried it again, and it was bad. And then I tried it a couple more times, it was bad. And then I think it took a little honing in on the concept to be able to actually pick out a melody just with the tuning pegs, and to get it back in. The trick is to get it all back in tune so you can stop doing that and continue to play.
Yeah. So you didn't pick that up from somewhere, you just...
I just decided to do it one time. I've seen a few other people do similar things on an electric guitar, but I haven't really seen anybody do exactly what I do. I'm sure there's somebody out there who can do it and can do it better, but we won't talk about them.
Well, it was very impressive, I must say.
Go on.
What is the parade in the David Mayfield parade? Do you guys throw out fistfuls of candy, or is it symbolic?
Well, basically, you saw me playing solo at the Y, but with my band, which is mostly what I'm doing these days. It's basically my concept was to get away from the just 4 or 5 people on a stage playing songs and all the pretensions of we're so cool and the brooding, angsty, all of that, which has its place, and there's bands I love that are like that, but my concept was just this event that kind of breaks down the wall between performer and audience, and it's humble and it's funny and it's weird, and there's dancing and this kind of awkward moments that all kind of just becomes this kind of event that is more than just here are my songs. And that's kind of where the concept of a parade came in.
Fun. So tell me about Cadillac Sky.
Well, Cadillac Sky was a band that I was in for about 2 years. When I first joined that band, they were pretty strictly bluegrass, leaning more towards kind of progressive things. And then they hired me with the idea of stepping more into different genres, and we made a record with Dan Arbach, who is the singer and guitar player for the Black Keys. And we did that record, and things went well. We toured with Mumford & Sons and a bunch of other bands, and then decided back in January or so that we were going to call it quits for personal reasons and collective reasons. So from that, the David Mayfield Parade was born out of necessity, because I can't do anything else but perform. I'm not good at anything else.
Oh.
Well, you're good at recording. You've got a new record out.
That's right. It's mostly original songs. There's a couple covers. One song is an old Don Gibson song that I redid, and then I recorded a song that my sister wrote, Jessica Lee Mayfield. We tend to do that. I wrote, actually Josh Joplin and I wrote a song called Blue Skies Again, which is on my record and also on Jessica's.
I love that song.
Thank you. So, Jessica collaborated with me on that record. The Avett brothers, Scott and Seth Avett, sing a bunch of the harmonies on the record, and Jessica sings on it as well. Josh Joplin sings on it. It's kind of, the record had been in the works long before I knew that the David Mayfield Parade was going to be my priority. I had been making this record just kind of as a labor of love, and had all the songs. I'm constantly writing songs, and kind of, this batch needed a home because they didn't fit for the Cadillac Sky record, and so I just had started making a record. So when Cadillac Sky was headed towards its end, I had this record ready to put out, and all I needed was a band and a team, and I could just go ahead. So it worked out. So
people can pick that up on their normal avenues of buying music, iTunes, Amazon, that sort of thing?
iTunes, Amazon. It's in independent record stores.
The ones that are left.
The ones that are left. It's in all 3 independent record stores nationwide.
Nationwide. So getting back to, you mentioned your sister, who I blame for me trying not to say David Lee Mayfield. I assume that Lee is not your middle name.
It is not. That is actually my father's name.
Oh, yeah?
My father is David Lee Mayfield. I'm David Ray.
David Ray.
Extremely country sounding.
So you and Jessica were on Letterman in February.
We were. It was crazy. My band had opened for the Avett brothers in upstate New York the night before, and so I had to drive through the blizzard snowstorm into the city, and we had to load in at the Ed Sullivan Theater at I think it was 8:30 in the morning or something. So I just drove overnight, didn't sleep, and I was afraid I was going to miss it because the weather was so bad. Finally made it there, and got there, and they said, "Okay, you're loaded in," which just meant carry my stuff in. And they said, "Okay, now you can come back at 2 in the afternoon." It wasn't as urgent that I got there when they asked me to. They were pretty laid back, but no, it was really, really crazy. I think, just thinking about all the people who had played there.
Right.
That band from England that all the kids liked, the Beatles.
That one band.
Yeah, that one band. But no, and then, I can remember being a kid and sneaking up when my parents were asleep and watching Letterman just because he was, kind of edgier than the rest, and it was awesome. And so to be able to do that and to do it with my baby sister was just really cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Were you more nervous being on TV, or did it seem like just any other show?
It's when we did rehearsal, we all were really nervous because it's, all the lights are on, like the house lights, and it's a big empty theater, and you see all these cameras in your face, and, you look over to the right, and there's Paul Schaefer, and we were really nervous, but when the show came, all the lights were down, and they had stage lights on, like a regular concert, and there was a crowd, so it felt more like a show. So I was more nervous during sound check than I was the actual taping.
They should just have a little sign in the green room that says, if you can get through sound check, you can get through the show.
Exactly. The show's so much easier.
Do you guys have anything weird on your rider?
Well, we ask for, one of the things we ask for is backstage there is to be a chair that only I can sit in, that no one else has ever sat in before. And directly after our performance, it must be destroyed, and proof of that must be sent on VHS tape to my booking agent.
See, I was just imagining a special kind of cheese. That is so much better.
And then we also ask that our sound man that the venue provides should be completely covered in tattoos.
He has to be Italian.
And willing to eat anything. There's a few other little things like that, but I mean, it's mostly just to get the venue and the promoter ready for our brand of zaniness.
If you can't handle the David Mayfield Parade's rider, you shouldn't be in show business.
Exactly. And surprisingly enough, some places have actually provided these things.
Oh!
Which it's meant to be, kind of, like I said earlier about, like, knocking down pretensions. It's meant to be like, look, we're not that serious about being a rock band. We're here to put on a show and entertain people. We're not going to ask for only blue M&Ms and all that. But some people, we played a show in Winter Park, Colorado, and walked backstage, and there was a brand new chair with a sign on it, Mr. Mayfield only. So of course I took pictures of it and texted all my friends, and my sister was like, they got the chair.
The chair. That is awesome. So, Grammy nomination for a song that you produced, yeah?
Yeah, well, it was an album.
Oh.
Kind of strange. Yeah, I produced an album that was nominated for Best Southern Gospel Record.
Ah.
Which was a big shock. There's this terrific singer named Barry Scott, who happens to be a gospel artist, and asked me to produce a record for him, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot.
Next thing you know.
Next thing you know, it did not win the Grammy, but as they say, it's just an honor to be nominated.
Absolutely. Well, congrats.
Thank you. And it looks really good on a resume.
Of course.
You don't have to say, best gospel art. You can just be Grammy-nominated producer, David Mayfield. And it's did Kesha, what did he do,
Did Kesha get a Grammy nominated?
I hope so.
Her videos are entertaining. She may not be the most talented or cleanliest pop star out there right now, but, I mean, she is entertaining.
Grammy-worthy, though.
Well,
she likes beards. I know that much.
Ah, well then. I Just Might Pray has a music video with split screen effect. Who did you do that with?
I made that video with a friend of mine named Josh Marks, who is a terrific photographer and videographer, and we basically sat down and came up with concepts, and our first concept was extremely elaborate, and we did not have enough money to do, so we came up with the split screen effect and shot the whole thing in one day and just had a lot of fun with it. The girl who plays my love interest in the video, it was actually the barista at the coffee shop close to my house I go to all the time. And I walked in one time, a week before we were going to film, and Josh was like, well, we got to get a girl. And I was like, okay, let me think. And I walked in, I was like, hey, I think you would work for this. And she was a little creeped out, I think, at first, when I was like, hey, you want to make a video? And but then I think she realized that it was all kosher.
Very nice. That's funny.
Who are your favorite musicians?
Well, I like a lot of different stuff.
Mhm.
I'm a huge Randy Newman fan,
Uh-huh.
and I love Simon and Garfunkel. I love a lot of older country stuff like Conway Twitty, and then like 90s country. You can't go wrong with 90s country. Randy Travis, Keith Whitley, Vince Gill, that kind of stuff. And then I like a lot, more modern stuff. I've been digging the new Fleet Foxes record.
Oh, yeah?
There's some choice nugs in there, as they say. Todd Snyder, singer-songwriter from Nashville. Also a band called Ghost Finger. They write like rock songs about like basketball and girls.
Right. Buddy Holly or Eddie Cochran?
Buddy Holly.
Black Sabbath or Blue Oyster Cult?
Sabbath.
Jessica Lee Mayfield or David Mayfield?
Jessica Lee Mayfield.
Oh, that's nice. Who are your favorite musicians that you've met?
Well, I met David Bowie.
You did? Oh, jealous.
I met David Bowie. He told me I had sex appeal.
Coming from David Bowie, that's pretty good.
That's what I thought, but then someone pointed out that he may have been being sarcastic.
Does he do sarcasm?
I don't know. I don't think David Bowie is capable of sarcasm. That was my argument.
Yeah.
I think it was sincere. But anyway, David Bowie, Willie Nelson,
Ah,
who I opened for just a little bit ago, and he was really nice.
very nice.
Of course, the Avett Brothers, Mumford and Sons, they're all great guys.
I would like to try something. Are you willing to go on a mental journey here and use your imagination?
I will go where you lead me.
Close your eyes, and you're going to walk me through your typical performance, and I'll ask some questions along the way.
Okay.
So, you arrive at the venue. Are you early or late?
We are pretty much right on time most of the time.
Have you eaten?
Usually have not eaten.
What happens now? Do you have your equipment with you, or do you already have it in there?
Well, if it's we're talking right before the show, then everything would be in there and set up.
Okay, so this would be like after sound check.
Yeah, we sound checked earlier.
And you go where, to your green room, or?
It depends. Sometimes something I like to do is stay in our van or stay outside right until it's time to play and walk in the front door and go right on stage.
Really? Well,
I find that if I spend a lot of time in the venue before the show, it psychs me out somehow.
ah.
I don't know why. I think I just anticipate it too much.
Mhm.
And if I just walk right in and go, then I don't have time to think about how many people are there or are they going to like my socks.
Just sort of like trick yourself into not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I'm on stage. Here we go.
Exactly.
So do you have any other like pre-show rituals?
Sometimes the band will get together and we will actually pray to Satan to fill our hearts with evil. But we don't really worship Satan or believe in him, so I think that's kind of just a funny little superstition. But we do that pretty often.
So you go out on stage. What instrument are you holding?
The band goes on stage first.
Okay.
And they start playing a song. And then I walk out and I strike a few poses. I usually do a somersault. And then I grab a guitar.
You grab a guitar from
like someone throws me a guitar, yeah.
Someone just chucks it in the hopes that you catch it.
Right.
Are you picturing the audience in their underwear at this point, or can you even see the audience?
I can usually see the audience. Usually what I do, and I think a lot of performers do this, when you look out, if it's a big show and there's a lot of people standing right up by the stage, you pick out like 2 or 3 people that you play to all night.
Ah.
That you have their undivided attention, and they're looking right at you, because I find that I need someone to deliver to, and if it's a big show, and like Bonnaroo where there's a huge crowd, it feels like you're just kind of putting yourself out into this big sea of people, and it's hard to connect with that. So you kind of have to bring it in closer, and just find a couple faces down front.
How about the sound person? Is it someone you brought or part of the venue?
We use a venue sound person.
And at any point, do you feel like strangling him or her?
Sometimes I'm the least picky person with sound. I've seen so many bands where they've been playing, and like an hour into the show, they're still asking the sound man for changes. And it's like, just get over it and play your show. I mean, is it that bad? Can you really not hear the tambourine that much that you have to keep asking after every song?
Do you have like a final encore type song that you always play, or do you kind of mix up your set a lot?
We keep the set mixed up. I don't write set lists. People ask a lot of times after the show, can I have the set list? And it's like, there's no set list. It's just, I just call out songs. But we usually encore pretty consistently with the song Breath of Love. Just it kind of seems like with all the goofiness and fun that we have, and then the screaming, jumping kind of rock and roll moments, it's kind of a nice sentiment to leave on this sincere, stripped-down song.
People are clapping, yay, and then you walk off stage. What happens like right after you get off stage?
I usually want to drink gin, and I want to find a dry shirt to put on because I'm usually completely covered in sweat.
Right. All right, well done. You could open your eyes now. So people can find you on thedavidmayfieldparade.com, and you're on Twitter, right?
I'm on Twitter. It's David R. Mayfield. The David Mayfield Parade has a page on Facebook. You can like that.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, David, for taking the time to chat with me.
Absolutely. I hope that it was all you hoped it would be.
Oh, it was that and more. So have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you very much.
Dear winter bird, how long can you last before you get too cold and the earth asks you back? Dear bended bough, you're ready for the sun. The old man is leaving, a longer day's begun. Suddenly I can see blue skies again. Beauty says nothing less than our hearts will mend. I promise you they do. Pages of my memories. This heart of mine is ready for the spring. Open up my window, a winter bird take wing. And suddenly I can see blue skies again. Beauty says nothing less than our hearts will mend. Again, beauty says nothing less than our hearts will mend. I promise you